Palm reading of a lady. First thing that we are going to take a look is the money line. I'm just marking the age somewhere out here. Just take a look. This is the line of money, the Saturn line, or the money line, or the fate line, whatever you may call. And this is the headline, and this is the heart line. So the intersection of the money and the headline is age 35. Intersection of the money and the heart line is age 53. So on the money line, this portion is before the age of 35. From the headline to the heart line, this age is 35 to 53, and this is 53 and beyond. So I will try to explain whatever I see marking different points of a career point of view. The thing is that we have to look at all the aspects to arrive at the conclusion, but first let's basically just take a look at only the money line. So the money line is kind of broken somewhere at this particular point. And this is before the age of 35. I have already mentioned the head and the money line is age 35. So it is broken before the age of 35. And another one kind of starts at this particular point, and this particular age is approximately, I would say, if this is age 35, so probably this age could be approximately 31. That's the approximate age, I would say. But a break on the money line could have far-reaching consequences. The thing is that break in the money line has got two or three reasons. The first could be job loss, work loss, or business loss. This could be the first thing. The second thing could be the main earning member of the family, their health or wealth goes down, so more responsibility falls onto this particular person's head. And the third is one's personal life can also get disturbed. And due to disturbances on the in the personal life, and that is the reason why there is a break on the money line as well. So these are two or three reasons. Imagine a situation if the line was something like this, and there was a branch that was branching out. So this branch is kind of angling more and is much more near to this particular area. And this is the area of Mars negative. This is the area of anger, aggression, and fire. So a branch kind of leaning a little bit, or is if it's a little bit closer to the amount of Mars negative, it means burning of cash or burning like wastage of money happening before the age of 35. The person may have earned lots of money, but yet few of that portion may get destroyed. So this is a major thing that is happening in her life. One more way of explaining the money line is that imagine this is the money line and there's a line that is branching out. It means outflow of money. If a line was kind of joining in, it would mean inflow of money. So this portion is not considered to be the best. So the thing is that this point I would say is a little bit negative. If we try to take a look at the left hand also, the thing is normally many palmists would say that we should take a look at the left hand for females and right hand of the male. But in my case, what I do is I give importance to both the hands, not necessarily only the left hand, but I would also give the importance to the to the right hand as well. Both hands are used in our lives, so both hands need to be considered. Our both hands may not be totally dissimilar. Some people think that their left and the right hand are totally dissimilar. So, but it's a very rare case scenario that both our hands are going to be completely different. So this hand also we will try to take a look out here. So this is the line of money, and this portion of the money line is kind of originating inside the lifeline. So whenever the money line is kind of originating inside the lifeline, it could mean help that may come from the family as well. Family. So this is one way of looking at it. So the line kind of starts early, and then at somewhere at this particular point, you would notice there's a line that is continuing, and one line is kind of branching out. So if this portion is also considered to be a negative sign, outflow of money, and if this point is age 35, so this portion could be around the age of, let's say, 31, something like that. So this is a negative sign. Now, apart from that, you would also notice this portion of the money line is kind of a little bit disturbed, kind of a portion, and a simple line would mean better prospects, like you see, between the age of 35 to the age of 53. But when the line is kind of crossing by the other lines, or some negative lines are kind of touching from the area of Mars negative. Mars negative is the area of anger, aggression, and fire. If some line kind of originates on the mount of Mars negative and kind of touches the either the headline or the money line, the few problems can be expected, and it is touching at the age of 35. So around the age of 35, some problems may also arise, and the problem could be of two nature. The first is because it is touching the headline, it could have an impact on the mind, and the second is because it is also touching the line of money, it could also have financial implications as well. So both ways, it is considered to be negative. Now we come back to the right hand. In this hand also, you would notice these lines that are kind of horizontal. It touches at the intersection of the money and the headline. So this age could be a significant portion of life where few changes may come up in her case. Now, the thing is that the money line also changes course, like it kind of touches somewhere on the heart line and it kind of vanishes. So this particular line would last from the age of 31 till the age of 53. Then another line kind of starts somewhere in the middle of the head and the heart line. So this portion it is starting. So if this portion is 35, this portion is 53. So somewhere in the middle is age 44. So around the age of 44, few new things may also crop up. So this is another line that it starts, touches the heart line, and then it crosses over, and then again it vanishes. So the period is between the age of 44 till the age of 55, 56. That's the rough estimate, I would say. Then another very weak kind of line kind of is there. There's a wave-like formation also. Again, line starts at the age of, let's say, 48, 49, and it kind of reaches till the age of probably 57. That's the rough estimate. Then the last possible line that we see is towards the end, somewhere starting at the age of 55, and that basically continues throughout one's life. So I would say that only this line is good. Simple lines are considered to be the best possible lines, and if they are targeting purely and purely in the middle of the finger of Saturn, this is the Saturn finger, and this is the Saturn mount. So somewhere in the middle, so the best prospects can be expected, because Saturn is for money, possessions, wealth, wisdom, responsibility. So in that way, it is a good sign. So few changes can be expected in few portions of the money line. So there are going to be few changes that are going to be there. Now, sometimes the break on the money line, as I've already explained, it could mean few problems that may come probably due to job loss, work loss, business loss, or something like this. Or it could also be other things as well that may affect the particular person. Now, in her case, the best possible line that I can point out is this particular line. This is the line that we are referring to. Now, this is inside the lifeline. This is the lifeline, and this is inside the lifeline. Now, this line is a very rare kind of a line. This particular line that we are referring to is a very rare kind of a line. In Western countries, it is known as the guardian angel line. In India and other countries, it is also known, like a few Asian countries, it could be known as the supporting lifeline or the line of Mars. Now, Mars, because the reason why we say Mars, because it is starting on the area of Mars. Mars being a fighting planet, it provides the person fighting spirit. And a person who has fighting spirit, they would basically generally win. This is a general thing. Now, people do have a Mars line. It's not that only this particular hand has a Mars line, but the problem is that most people have got a small kind of a Mars line. It might be this long, or it might be somewhere this long, or it could be a little bit more long. So there could be variations. But On this particular hand, what we see, it is running throughout one's life, and it is starting somewhere at this particular point. So this age on the lifeline could be approximately 18, 19. This is when the supporting lifeline starts. Now, the supporting lifeline is considered to be like a armor around this particular person. It is a protection around this particular person. Now, the person may have a protection around her. This could be one thing, but at the same time, she may not need other person's protections. She herself has this fighting spirit within her. So she is a protection to the people around her. So it can go, it may work both ways. Getting protection, at the same time she has this fighting abilities, the fighting spirit, and this fighting spirit and the spark within her makes her the winner generally. But in the most cases, it is considered to be good. Now this line can be found in any profession. It's not one profession that a person may have it. A man can have it, or an engineer can have it, a doctor can have it, a politician or a fighter can have it, a policeman can have it, a judge can have it, anybody can basically have it. But if it is found, it is generally found either in the hands of warrior or maybe lawyers as well. So in those cases, it's considered to be very good, because lawyers, they fight on a daily basis. A farmer, they fight on a daily basis, because farmer has to fight against all the disease that they from bad weather, and the disease that may affect his crop, and many more things that the person has to constantly fight against. And even a policeman or an army man. So in that way, as mentioned, it can be found on any person's hand, but if found on the hands of lawyers or these people, it is considered to be a beautiful sign. Now, what it provides is that any bad aspect that may get applied, like if it's the problems on the money line, the person could come out of that money problem. If the problem is on the heart line, emotional issues, again, the person comes out. If it's on the headline, the problem is on the headline again. So the protection is not just to the lifeline, it is to every aspect of one's life. So in that way, it is a beautiful sign to have. Consider something like lifeline is encircling two planets, the area of Mars and the area of Venus. So these are two planets. Venus is the area for desires and the energy and the stamina within us, and Mars is the fighting spirit and the anger and aggression within us. So consider lifeline to be something like an engine. So having a double lifeline basically makes it that our engine is double barreled, and it's a very, very tough kind of engine, very, very strong kind of engine. Even if we misuses or do keep on racing that particular engine, even then there's no problem with that engine, and the person like the engine is never going to fail. So in that way, it is considered to be a very positive kind of sign. Whoever has it, they would certainly lead a long life, and if any ailment or any disease affects that particular person, they may not get affected at all. So in every way, it is considered to be a good sign. It is also seen as, imagine a situation if this person loses everything in her life. So when the person loses everything, normally a general person would basically sit and they won't do anything, because they get so disappointed. They feel, oh, nothing is left. But this person, this lady, having a supporting lifeline, a Mars line, would have that fighting spirit and the spark, and they would be able to re-spark and bring their life back to normal from where it started, or maybe even better. So, so in this way, it is one of the best possible signs a person can have. Like in India, also a top politician like Mamta Banerjee has it. I don't know if you know or not. And even Sonia Gandhi has this supporting lifeline running throughout one's life. So the importance becomes much better when it is running for throughout one's life. So that's a very positive aspect. Now, if we look at these particular lines, these lines are pointing towards the area of Mercury. This area is the area for Mercury, and Mercury is the area for skill, calculations, communication. Having a strong, deep, and clear line basically means that the person is trying to master their skills on a daily basis. So when we think about success, because the general questions are going to be related to success, people want to be successful. So the question is likely to be regarding success. Am I going to be successful or not? See, the thing is that having strong lines of Mercury would automatically mean that the person is trying to sharpen their skills. And the person who sharpens their skills is the one who is likely to be more successful in their life. A person who communicates in a perfect way, who is never miscommunicating or miscalculating, the chances for their success basically increase manifold. So, in that way, it is good. A little bit negative sign is that you notice these lines, these are also perpendicular lines. I would say these are perpendicular. Perpendicular are considered to be good. But having a little bit of crossing kind of lines, it kind of reduces the quality of the perpendicular line. So perpendicular line is something like sharpening your knife, sharpening your skill. And horizontal line is kind of blunting that thing. And having crisscrossing lines could increase miscommunication and miscalculations. There could be few times that it may take place, and it's not necessary that there should be too many lines. Like you notice that there are 2, 3, 4 lines out here, 2, 3, 4 lines here. You don't need to have 2, 3, 4 lines. Even one single line is good enough for one success. Now the thing is that if we go by the book in books of palmistry, there's a little bit of confusion about these particular lines, because some people say that this is the line of health, some people say this is the line of liver, the liver organ, and some people say that this is the line of Mercury. So there's a little bit of confusion. I normally say all of them are considered to be Mercury lines. The thing is that they should be deep and clear. If they're not deep and clear, the chances of our liver malfunctioning increases, because what happens is, imagine a situation if there are too many these broken kind of lines. So what's going to happen is the person is trying to master too many skills, so more, and the person is overworking their mind. So when they're overworking their mind, they are kind of more bile is going to get secreted, and when more bile is secreted, then indigestion can take place. So in that way, and then the liver gets affected. So in that way, it is a little bit it's better to have one line or two lines maximum, not multiple lines. But the thing is that these lines are not crisscrossing each other. That's the good part, and they are quite independent. So in a way, I would say that all of these lines can be seen as positive. If there was a mix-up of lines and there was island-like formation, then I would have said that they would give kind of negative result. Now, the other aspect is if we look at the line of head, this is the line of head, and it is branching towards the end. So branching of the headline is considered to be good. It means that the person could be a genius. Now, genius doesn't mean that they know everything, but genius just means that they have the ability to look at one thing in many perspectives. Imagine a situation if the headline was only straight and ending out here. It would mean, because it's ending out here, so the person is very practical. Because this is the area for Mars positive, and Mars positive is the area of coolness, calmness, and tenacity. So a straight headline makes the person more practical. And if there's a strength and the clarity in the line, so more clarity can be expected in our case. But what we also find is that the line is branching a little bit downwards. So branching of the headline towards the end and pointing towards the amount of Mercury increases the field of thought process, widens the area of thought process. So the top part is the practical and the lower portion is the imagination part. So the person can be practical as well as imaginative as well in both cases. So both are required to some degree or the other, and both can help us in success. And the starting portion of the line of head, this is the area that we are referring to. Now we would notice that small lines are kind of joining the line of either the headline or the lifeline, and this is also one of the line. So these lines are considered to be positive lines. Although if they were a little bit more deeper and much more clearer without these cuts, I would have rated it to be much, much better. The thing is that these lines kind of originate on the mount of Jupiter and join the lifeline. If it joins the lifeline, it means our life is getting guided by Jupiter. And Jupiter, being a big planet, it signifies growth, expansion, honor, respect in one's life. And it is a positive sign to have. Whoever has it reaches to a higher position. Now, although this particular line is joining at an early stage of our life, maybe around the age of, before the age of, let's say, 19 years, but the impact that it may have is going to be for throughout one's life and not necessarily only for 1 or 2 years. So this is one way of looking at it. The other thing is that if it was uncut, I would have rated it to be much better, but it is a little bit cut. So in a way, it kind of blocks those energies to some extent. And later portion also, you would notice that there's a line that is kind of originating on the Jupiter and pointing and joining the line of life. So both cases, our life is getting guided by Jupiter. That means towards, we are angling towards the position and power and all these things in our life. Respectable position, honorable position. So those are our priority. Now, the thing is, one more thing is that the Mars line, one thing I basically forgot to tell you, that a person who has a Mars line does gain from property related issues. Now, it can be his their own property or other properties or whatever way they are likely to gain from property. You would also notice that there are kind of small square like formations out here. Now, square-like formations can be seen after the age of 35. This is after the age of 35. Now, squares on the money line means either it means preservation of money from any losses or any problem as such. So the money gets saved. The first thing is that. The second thing is it could also mean the person invest in property. The person could make investments in property, and that is basically a good indication as far as property goes. So this is a positive sign. Now we look at the sun line. This is basically the sun line. This is also the sun line. This is also the sun line. And towards the end, there's a V or a Y kind of a formation out here. So the thing is, the deeper the line, the better it is considered to be. When the line is a little bit dim and dull, what it basically signifies, it is starting around the age of 44. Don't think that if it is not starting at an early pace, let's say if it, the books of palmistry, what they say is that, let's say a line starts somewhere here. So they marked age. This is age 29. This is the age 31. This is age 33. This is 35, 44, 53, and beyond. This is how the palmistry book says. But I think we shouldn't go purely by the palmistry book, because sometimes we don't find any line as such out here. So that does not mean that the person doesn't have a career. The absence of the line sometimes can be an excellent indication to have, because it kind of mean it can mean it could mean unlimited possibilities. But when the line is a little bit dim and hardly visible, that is when basically we say that there could be lack of clarity in the work that we are doing. And that's the reason the amount of success that we can get, we may not be able to achieve because of the lack of clarity that we are experiencing. So I would say bring more clarity to the work. If you're kind of experiencing this kind of a problem, like lack of clarity, because other palmists, what they would say, that this is the line of luck. Some people say this is the line of name and fame. See, I don't say these particular words. I would say this is how much energies we are giving to our work. If the line is a little bit light kind, I would say that the person is lacking and not giving full energies to their work because they themselves do not have clarity. It is basically doubt and self doubt have crept in. It is something like you are driving a car and there are lots of clouds and there's lots of smoke around your path. So you wouldn't be able to run your car at a very great speed. So that's the reason why it is considered to be always better to have a deeper line. A deeper line brings more intensity and more energies to one's work. And because the person brings more energies to the work, the chances for success increase because they themselves are giving more energies to work. See, some people say that this is the luck line, but I would say that it is all about our energies and the clarity that we have in our life. So this is what I would say, and we find that the sunlight becomes much more deeper and clearer. This is around the age of after the age of 53. So the person may experience better prospects after the age of 53. But one line is not the only line to refer to, and sometimes even one single line can bring you all the benefits that you want in your life. So the person has to keep on fighting against difficult people, difficult situations, and the chances are always going to be extremely good. And such a person, if somebody becomes their enemy, for sure, 100% sure, they would not be able to do any harm to her. It is something like even if you have got powerful enemies, those people still would think twice before trying to harm you. And even if they want to harm you, and even if they try to harm you, there is a armor around you. So they themselves are going to get harmed. So it's better to leave you far apart. And even if they have some problems with you, they should basically just say goodbye and thank you. And basically, they should move on. Otherwise, they themselves are going to suffer because of having a strong Mars line in your hand. And the this is basically the heart line. Now the heart line is a little bit. I think it's a broken. I think it's broken out here. I'm not very sure. I would ask you to send me another hand image. And there's a one or two small branches. Small branches could mean a little bit of distractions. So it's always better to have a simple line and without any break. Break could mean an abrupt ending in a relationship or a partnership or something that we have been doing. So I'm not very sure if this is a break or not. It's kind of a overlapping kind of a line for a long duration. So it's always better to have a simple line. Simple lines mean more clarity in what you want from your life. And if there are few distractions, so these are kind of distractions that the person may experience either in the work or maybe in the relationship. I'm just looking at this particular hand, and in this hand, if we just try to zoom in, it does appear that the heart line is kind of first it is broken. Uh, First it is broken out here, then another one starts. This again kind of stops. Another one basically starts, and there's a kind of also another line that is running a little bit parallel. So a line that is running parallel to each other, two lines. So it could bring some kind of duality in emotion, two emotions at the same time, either two relationship at the same time for a few years probably. And this break could mean some emotional turmoil that the person may experience. This is the earlier portion, this is the later portion of the heartline. So this could be in the earlier portion that the person may experience. Now, somewhere close to the age of 32, 32, maybe 33, this is the headline that we are referring to. You would notice that this is the headline, and you would notice that this is a small branch out here, and this is the intersection of the money and the headline. So this age is age 35. So this downward motion of the line pointing towards the Mount of Moon, you would see before the age of 35. So this age is when it's happening at the age of 33. And there's also a small problem line coming and touching the headline. So mental issues and downward line pointing from the main headline, it could mean mental disappointment. Imagine a situation something like this. The tips of the finger is the sky, and the base of the palm is the earth and the gravity. If a branch moves upward, it means upliftment of the mind. If it moves downward, as we see in this particular case, it is mental disappointment. And it's common sense, like mainly these mental disappointments, if a person is experiencing at this particular age, at the age of 33, there are only two things that may get applied: either the work or either the relationship. One of them may get applied. It's something related to that. But again, due to a supporting lifeline and because of clarity in the headline, as the person moves forward, so the possibility is that the person would be able to manage all these things. The good quality of the heartline is it's ending on the Mount of Saturn. This is good for money, because don't think that only money line talks about the money. Even the heart line can talk about the money. Now, where is the heart angling? The question arises: the heart is angling towards the Mount of Saturn. And what is Saturn? Saturn is money. So the person's main desire is to get more money in their life. And these people value money, they respect money, and that's the reason why they are able to multiply their money. So these people are good money managers as well. And they're very responsible, they are very grounded. So those are the qualities that get applied in her case. And a curvature towards the end would make a person more passionate, and the person displays their emotion, and the person can't keep their emotions in check. So those are the things that also get applied. Now the person may claim that they are emotional, but in reality, because the heart line is not a long heart line reaching the Mount of Jupiter, I would say that these people are not emotional people, because the heartline is ending on the Mount of Saturn, and Saturn is all about money and being realistic expectations, not unrealistic. This is the unrealistic expectation, and this is realistic expectation. So the person is having realistic expectations. So the chances for emotional disappointment also decrease to a large extent. Imagine a situation if the heartline was long and there was a break also, then the problem becomes manifold. So the person may have a very limited kind of a problem, but it's going to go away. Now, this portion, it appears that there's a square-like formation. Some people may say kite, some people may say diamond, but this is a square basically. A square basically means preservation, and preservation from what? This is the area for position. So if the person reaches to a high position, it would not be easy to pull the person down. So this is one way of looking at it. The other way is that these branches that you see are kind of joining the headline or the lifeline. So life getting or mind getting guided by Jupiter, both I've already explained, are considered to be good. In this particular hand, regarding the sun line, now the sun line is basically the carrier line. This is the line that we are referring to. Now it is a little bit weak in this particular portion. This is the headline. So this is the headline. So this age is age 35. This is before the age of 35, and this is 35 to 53, and this is 53 and beyond. So you would notice above the hard line, the quality of the sunline is very deep and clear. Deep and clear line, I've already explained, it means clarity in your work. And because there's clarity, you are successful. You may think, oh, I'm lucky. No, it's not about luck. It is more to do with your energies that you're giving to your work. A little bit thin kind of a line, a weaker kind of a line. Although in this case, in the left hand, it's quite consistent. It is starting early around the age. Let's say if this is 35, so it is starting around the age of, let's say, 30, 31. So probably from then on, the person would have reasonably good name and fame, but because it's lacking in strength, it means lack of clarity, and that's the reason why uh, the kind of position the person may be able to achieve the person may not be able to achieve because of doubt and self-doubt. So I would advise the person to remove doubt and self-doubt. That is very necessary, and if they do that, the chances for success increases. As such, when we look at the hand, it appears to be a beautiful hand. Like it's a beautifully structured kind of a hand. So beautifully structured hand brings in more predictability, and there's a balance of this is the head and this is the heart line. So there's a balance in personality, and the person has a balanced kind of a decision making or feelings or all kind of things. and the person would want a beautiful partner because heartline ends on on the Mount of Saturn. They love money and they love outer appearance. So those are the priority. And even Venus appears to be reasonably well padded. So Venus is all about beauty, grace, all these things in our life. So in all, I would say a reasonably good hand. And one line that I have indicated would be playing out in a major way because it is showing up in both the hands, the ability to fight, fighting spirit. So this is what the person has always been known for, and this would remain throughout one's life. So that's it for this particular video. You can ask further questions, maybe send me one or two more images so that I can reconfirm what I'm seeing is the correct kind of image that I have kind of read on your hand. Although it's going to remain the same, I'm pretty sure, 100%, 90% sure, 95% sure it's going to remain the same. But yet, just for more clarification, just send two or three more, much more higher resolution images that could help me. Maybe I would try to tell you something more as well. Thanks, bye, and take care.